Character design is one of the things I'm most passionate about when it comes to art. I love creating characters, and I have dozens of OCs, all of which are unique in some way. But how do I go about character design? In today's video, I'll be going through my process and showing you guys how I generally approach designing an original character. To start, I need a basic idea or some sort of inspiration for what I want to make. Thanks to TikTok, this part is really simple. Under the comments of my last character design TikTok, Bunny suggested that I create a red panda who's an artist. I immediately fell in love with this idea, so that's exactly what I'm going to be designing today. Now, before I do any drawing, I have to go search for reference images. More often than not, I go to Pinterest for my references. For this design in particular, I begin by finding photos of red pandas, both real ones and fake ones. I like gathering real-life examples so I can have an accurate reference before I simplify my design. And I also like including other people's interpretations so I can see how they might stylize certain features. After gathering my red panda references, I look into different outfits or articles of clothing. I knew that he was going to be an artist, so I did various searches of what artists might wear, while also taking into account the aesthetic that I want. Now I can finally begin drawing. 9 times out of 10, I like to start playing around with what the character's head or face looks like. I feel like I can get a pretty good idea of who the character is by starting this way, and it's also just one of my favorite parts of character design in general. In this case, it's important for me to get the head just right so the character looks like he belongs in the world that he's being created for. After the head, I figure out what the body might look like, and then it's on to the outfit. I really love the idea of giving him an artist's apron and beret. It's a little stereotypical, but I feel like it fits just perfectly in the Boris and Connie world. Boris and Connie is a series of children's books that I'm working on, and the first book, Boris and Connie Share a Picnic, is out now on Amazon and Gumroad. The story follows its titular main characters, Boris and Connie, in a short story that teaches children how to share and ask permission. I also have a coloring book up for sale called Color with Boris and Connie. It features 21 different coloring pages with Boris and Connie along with the twin raccoons, Rory and Ramsey. Links to both the storybook and the coloring book can be found in the description below. Now, once the sketch is done, it's time to figure out his color palette. I wanted to keep the colors relatively muted and warm to make everything feel nice and cozy. I thought it'd also be fun to have some paint streaks on his apron to show that he's always hard at work. Things like this are important to keep in mind because within the design, you need to be able to tell the story. It's important for the viewer to be able to tell just by looking at the character kind of what they might be like or what they're into. This doesn't have to apply to every single character design, but in a case like this, I thought it'd be pretty important to include. After figuring out his colors, I move on to creating the final character sheet. I like to keep these sheets fairly simple, but also informative. I include the design as it looks from the front and the back, as this will help me in the future if I have to draw him from another angle. A simple way that I draw out the back of my characters is by taking the front view and just flipping it horizontally, and then I erase any details that won't show up on the back, and fill in the blank space with the back details. I also make sure to adjust things as needed in order to fit the new perspective. This usually happens when I'm designing human characters who have more realistic proportions, as the front and the back versions of their designs have a different perspective when it comes to their feet. The back of the feet usually end up being more foreshortened than if I were to draw them from the front. Next, I draw out 2 different angles of the character's head. In this case, a side view and a 3/4 view. Just like with the inclusion of the back view of the full body, having these additional head angles will help me in the future for drawing the character in different positions. Once everything is drawn out and cleaned up, it's time to head to Clip Studio Paint and add in the colors. On Clip Studio, I have this tool I downloaded from the asset store that makes filling in the colors super easy. I'll leave a link to this tool in the description. What's great about it is that it not only fills inside the lines, but also underneath the lines. So like in this case, if I have textured line art, or line art that has fuzzier edges, I don't have to worry about leaving a space in between the line art and the colors, since the colors will fill in underneath all the pixels of the line art. It also makes filling in my colors so much quicker than manually scribbling them in. I just circle my line art, and as long as the lines are all closed, it gets filled in automatically. And that's my basic character design process. Things may vary depending on the project and the style I'm working in, but that's generally how I create my characters. Hopefully this was informative for you guys, and now you can go out and create a bunch of amazing characters yourselves. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Quick reminder that my coloring book, Color with Boris and Connie, and my storybook, Boris and Connie Share a Picnic, are available now on Amazon and Gumroad. Links to purchase them are in the description. Thanks for watching, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next video.